Hey guys, so it has been confirmed that Brittney Griner has been released. She's on her way home, and according to the president, she has been set free from the Russian prison. So she is freed as part of a prisoner swap with Russia. And according to the Washington Post, Brittney Griner, the American basketball star imprisoned in Russia, was released on Thursday, December the 8th, which is today, in exchange for Viktor Bout, a convicted Russian arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death. So President Biden made an announcement in a brief statement from the Roosevelt Room of the White House, with Shirley Griner by his side. So the president said that Griner should be back in the U.S. within 24 hours. I guess by the time I put out my report, she should be here on American soil. So Victor Bout, who is 55, was convicted for being an arms dealer, and he was accused of supplying Al-Qaeda and the Taliban and rebels in Rwanda. He was arrested in Thailand in 2008 and was convicted in New York in 2011 on charges including conspiracy to kill Americans. So guys, the American government was not about to release him, but because there was so much pressure on getting Griner back home because she is very important in the basketball league, and a lot of people put pressure on the White House. They made that swap, although they did not want to. Putin wanted Victor Bout back. He did not want him to be on American soil. So that was his bargaining chip. Victor Bout for Griner. So the president tweeted that he spoke with Brittney Griner and she is safe. She's on the plane and she's on her way home. President Biden also confirmed that she landed safe in the United Arab Emirates as she made her way home from detention in Russia. And we saw the swap at the airport with the two prisoners and the United Emirates officials taking custody of Brittney Griner. He also shared a letter that Brittney Griner sent to him, and it said, "Please do all that you can to bring me home." Because remember, they had moved her to a penal colony. It's hard work in those penal colonies, and they're very unforgiving. So for months now, the White House have been trying to negotiate Griner as well as another American who is being held, Paul Whelan, but they were not successful in getting him out. It was just one for one, Griner for Bout. And she was lucky to get out because Paul Whelan is still sitting in the Russian penitentiary. So I'm sure it was very disappointing for his family. And his brother David was told by U.S. officials on Wednesday that he would not be exchanged with Griner. She was just one for one. So Brittney Griner's spouse, Shirley Griner, said that she is very thankful to the WNBA players for their support. And the players had led social media campaigns and charity drives to support Brittney Griner, who had played for the Phoenix Mercury since 2013. So she's very grateful for all the help they received. So David Wheeler said the Biden administration made the right call. Instead of keep negotiating for something that's not going to happen, his brother is still sitting in prison, and that was holding up Griner getting out. And so he said it was the right call to get her out. They can keep negotiating for his brother to be released later on. So last month, Brittney Griner, who is now 32, was transferred to a penal colony in a small town right outside of Moscow, where she began to serve a prison term after a Russian court upheld her conviction on drug charges in October. And I guess she was sent to that penal colony to put pressure on the Biden administration to do that swap of Victor Boat and Brittney Griner. So, folks, although Brittney Griner is home, we're still praying for the other prisoners who were wrongfully convicted and accused of crimes they did not commit. And we're hoping that the Biden administration continue to work on their behalf, because they've got families and loved ones who want to see them also released from these camps, these prisoner camps, and these penal colonies. So, according to CNN, a senior White House official said that the Russian government made it very clear several weeks ago that they were unwilling to negotiate for a 2-for-1 swap. It would be a 1-for-1 swap, Brittney Griner for Victor Bout. And they were unwilling to consider releasing Paul Whelan. So, folks, just a quick reminder. Brittney Griner was arrested back in February at a Moscow airport for drug possession. She was carrying the cannabis oil, and she said she had forgotten that it was in her bag. And for that, she was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And last month, she was moved to a penal colony, which meant she would have had to do hard labor. So, needless to say, moments of the announcement that President Biden made of Garner coming home, of course, all her supporters were cheering and they were celebrating. So, U.S. officials have publicly thanked the United Arab Emirates on Thursday for providing a location for the swap of Brittney Griner and Victor Bout because of echoes of the Cold War still in play. The swap had to be made on neutral ground. So the United States thanked the United Arab Emirates for its role in the exchange. So the President of the Emirates, along with the Crown Prince, were instrumental in playing a role in this swap of prisoners on neutral territory, Abu Dhabi. So Griner was playing in the off-season in Russia, where she usually plays whenever the off-season roll around. But this time around, there was the cannabis oil in her luggage, and she got in trouble for it. She went to prison, and she almost served 9 years. If Biden was not instrumental in securing her release for the swap of both the prisoner, then she would have had to serve that 9 years to 9.5 years in a Russian prison. So I don't think she's going to be going over there anytime soon to play in the off season, because that is just a rude awakening that you can get into so much trouble on those foreign soils. The money is good, but any type of infraction, you can end up in the prison. But you know, guys, you can't please all the people all the time, because now a lot of the Republican Party members are saying that Biden did a wrong thing. He should not have released both. So it's going to be the talking point for the next election, no doubt. So Garner's lawyer filed an appeal back in July, which was thrown out. It was not upheld. The second court upheld the first ruling of 9 years. And after that verdict came down, she was moved to a penal colony, which was described as horrible and horrific conditions and torturous, according to former inmates. So she was detained and put in prison after she was found at the airport with the vapor cartridges containing a total of 0.702 grams of hashish oil, which was originally prescribed for her legally in Arizona, but in Russia it's illegal. So folks, when you travel to foreign countries, please check the laws when it comes to marijuana oils and cartridges and vapors, and anything that is prescribed here in the US might not be legal where you're going to. So one of my subscribers put it in the comment section that now she's going to stand for the U.S. flag, the anthem, when they're singing the anthem, she's going to stand. And I don't know if she did not stand in the past, but this is what one of the subscribers wrote. And if that's the case, I guess she's going to stand before anybody else, because the same flag that she did not want to stand for, the same government that represents that flag, are the folks who got her out from doing 9 years in a Russian penitentiary. So I think she's going to stand in the future, okay? So it was reported before she got on that plane to head back to the U.S., she had a physical exam. Of course, you know, they have to check out the prisoners that are released as to their medical condition, if they're okay, if something was done to them, if they had been drugged, and if before boarding that plane they're okay. Because if they board the plane and something is wrong with them on the plane, then the Russians can always say it didn't happen when she was released. It happened on the plane. So we have nothing to do with that. So the United States officials cannot thank the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, enough for all that they have done, for the intervention, for providing that neutral ground, that neutral space in which these prisoners can be exchanged. And so for that, you have a lot of government officials in the U.S. thanking the UAE. So although they could not get both prisoners out, because for months now, the United States Biden administration have been negotiating for both prisoners to be out, Whelan as well as Griner. But one is better than nothing. And we're hoping pretty soon Whelan also would be out, because he's got a family too who wants and needs him and wants to give him big hugs and kisses. And I'm sure they miss him terribly. So we're praying that he is able to come out soon. Griner is seen here sitting on a plane heading back to the U.S. After she was asked, what's your mood? And she said, happy, flashed a little smile. And you can see the difference in her face from how it was when she was imprisoned. Here is a young lady who is now relaxed. Her face has almost morphed into this happy individual, in opposed to this cold person that we saw before when she was in prison. What a difference freedom makes. So YouTubers, drop your comments. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.